It's a thing that, what's it called? Affinity. It's a thing that, oh God, there's so many things I'm trying to talk about at once. Hello, you lovely people of the internet, and welcome to another day of me being seriously messed up. Today's seriously messed up. I went out to meet up with the artist Alan. We had a lovely conversation about annoying a mutual friend, which I would never annoy the mutual friend, obviously, because I'm too nice for that kind of thing. But I would. There's a few things that do need to be addressed, I guess. My thumbnails are now, I'm doing the thumbnails by hand. I'm a crap artist, but I'm leaning into this seriously messed up thing, you know. This is who I am. This is the real me. And I'm doing this because it's the kind of thing that flips me switches. So I'm just doing it instead of thinking about doing it. It's an extra layer of work, as I've just discovered. Because although I say I'm just doing this, yeah, honestly, that extra layer of work is I'm learning new things. I've learned how to change colours, but not how you would normally think of changing colours using software. This is like using software that I've never used before. It's not GIMP, by the way. So Affinity, right? I bought Affinity years ago when I was still in uni, when it was 3 separate programs. And when Canva bought it, the Affinity brand, which I think was originally owned by Serif, I'm not sure who owned that. You see, now, that's taking me back to... I remember having Serif print or something like that way back in the 90s. I assume it's the same people. So I used Affinity, this piece of software, and I changed the colour of the glasses in me thumbnail. I do have a pink pen, a pink Posca pen, but it's in me drawer, and I was sat at my desk where there's a red pen, and I thought, oh, I'll just put the red one on because I'm getting red glasses tomorrow anyway. And I thought, yeah, but I've got to put pink ones on now, because instead of just drawing it again, which would have been way simpler, I did the complex thing of doing a new thing with a piece of software. It took longer than it needed to do, which has put time pressure on me now. I'm changing how I make the thumbnails because I'm sick of... I love AI. I think AI is a brilliant, brilliant tool. It's got so many possibilities. I'm doing this because I don't like seeing AI taking the place of things that could be done by an artist. I don't like seeing the AI being used the way it is, where artists could do the work. I'm not an artist, but I'm doing the work myself. Actually, no, I am an artist. I'm a word artist. I ain't messing around with videos. I'm a photographer kind of artist. I'm a visual artist. I'm a musician artist, or audio, or I can't think of the word. A dick about with audio. A dick about with visual stuff and a dick about with audio. I made a brilliant invention. I'm sidetracking myself here because I've just watched the door close and then bounce back open because there's a really strong draft. I've got the front door open, so there's a lovely strong draft blowing through, but it keeps closing me door. So I stuck a piece of wood in the hinge side of it, so every time the door tries to close itself, it bounces back open. It's beautiful. I feel so pleased with myself. What I've done making my thumbnails these last 2 days, I've never done anything like this before. I've learned to do it, and I'll get better at it as I go along, allegedly. And that for me, it's that creativity. That's the fun bit. It's like the best thing that you can do is make art. It doesn't have to be good. Just make something, write something new, make something new that's never been made before. It doesn't have to be good. It can be as shit as you like. The point is you've made it. And that's what I do. That is the whole point of this video channel. All the art I make, be it poetry, music, video shit like this, it amuses me. This stuff amuses me no end. And when I've done a good video, what I think is a good video, I'll be really happy about it. And I'll be really pleased with myself. Hang on, I need coffee. Oh yeah, when I say coffee, right, this has been sat here for a good, 13 minutes now. It's still got a crema on it. I tell you, this coffee machine's banging. Let's talk about other stuff. There's a thing called the Midas fly. right? I think its name's something like gauromydas heroes. And this fly is about 3 or 4 inches long. It looks like a house fly, but it's about 3 or 4 inches long and probably has a slightly bigger wingspan, so maybe 4 or 5 inches as a wingspan. Can you imagine that? That comes flying into your house and I'm going to need a bigger fly swat for this. You know, you go digging around in the back, see if you can find your Bjorn Borg tennis racket so you can take it out. Don't kill flies. We'll never get rid of flies unless we do something really stupid. And as we're humans, we will probably do something really stupid. But flies are really important. It's part of the waste disposal system, but they also do an awful lot of pollinising. I don't know if this is true. I was doom scrolling, and this thing came up about flies. About not this fly. It was about like a tiny little fly that pollinates the plants, the cow things, so we can have chocolate. So if these little flies didn't exist, we wouldn't have chocolate. Imagine that. Imagine a world without chocolate. That's a one strange world for me. A world without chocolate. I was writing about something earlier today. It's not very often I do some actual thinking, write what I'm thinking, as opposed to writing poetry. And this was like pulling teeth, because I was trying to explain an idea. I'll explain the idea, and you'll see what I'm trying to get at. So I've got a camera stand, which is what this camera's on now. And this camera stand has been given a name. We called it tack. And there's also a camera stand that I take out with me when I'm on the wild. And that's called baby tack because it's like tack but smaller. So by giving what people would call an inanimate object the name, giving it a personality, it gives it life. It has life of some sort. And in my mind, it's like with teddies. If you've ever read The Velveteen Rabbit by whoever it was who wrote it, where things become real. They're given a life. And that happens with teddies. It does, in my mind, it happens with teddies. And that's the thing, it's in my mind. And we give life. This is my theory now. We give life to things. So tack, to me, is a living thing in some way. Not alive necessarily in the same way that I'm alive, but alive in some way. And I know that at some point, tack will get knocked over or something will get damaged because these things are not built to last. And that there's parts of me that I know I'm going to be sad when the camera stand isn't used anymore. But I've got loads of camera stands I'm sat here now, and there's a microphone stand, 3 lighting stands. We give things life by our attention, and this is what I started to think. This is what I was thinking about, Dan, because everything is made up of particles of some sort, atoms, and the things that make up atoms, and the whole thing of probability fields. You know, a thing's only there because it's observed, kind of thing. It's tricky because I'm not a physicist by any stretch of the imagination, so this is at best some kind of pseudoscience. And at worst, complete and utter bullshit. So each of these particles, it's like a wave. There's that idea of it's a probability wave, right? It's probably there, it's up, but it almost certainly is. And so tack is made up from those things, each of those atoms. And then on tack, so there's the probability field of tack being tack, just as a physical object out of each of those atoms, which has got a probability wave of some sort. That's why it's there. And then within that, there's the microbiome of the dust mites, whatever lives in dust, there's bacteria, and all of those things are made up of atoms, and they all have. And every single touch, every time I've touched tack, it's left a mark in some way. There's a bit of my own personal biome goes on to it. And that probability. And then the fact that me, the observer, watching tack, that I'm only here is like this whole thing is a probability wave. Our brains are lying to us all the time about what's actually on the other side of our head. It's even lying to us about what's inside of our head, because what we're perceiving it with a salty blancmange, a slightly salty blancmange that runs on a fraction of a volt of electricity or something like that. It might be a salty lump of bacon. Whatever it is, it's this little few pounds worth of like squishy thing in my brain tells me what's going on the other side of it. And it's already got a flawed view of what everything is. It's this whole thing of life and consciousness is very, very messy. And I understand very little of it. But I always feel that I'm kind of close to something with this, because there's a series of books by Lyle Watts and Supernature, and there's other ones as well. I can't remember what they are. I read them a long time ago. You can't get an audio book for them, which is really annoying, because I never have the patience to read one now. But I would have the patience to listen to one, because like it's interesting stuff. You should look it up. Anyway, I've gone on forever about stuff that I find vaguely interesting. And I think there's going to be at least one outtake from all of that, because this has been going on for 26 minutes now. I don't think I've ever talked this long before, maybe apart from that time when I did the kitchen tapes. That went on for quite a while as well. Anyway, that's it. That is it. That's all I got for you. Love yous. Bye.